So what have you brought for us today?
My great-nana acquired this dusty Aaron Rodgers for her fantasy team back in 1913. She's held onto it forever, but we're just wondering if it's worth starting anymore.
Is that your great-nana there with Aaron Rodgers?
It is. This is my great-nana Eleanor.
It's a beautiful piece, it really is. World War I era fantasy asset. You can see some of the distress on the corners here. Just 11.84 fantasy points in week 6 with just 1 touchdown, so that's concerning. Have you gotten this appraised?
We have. A fantasy expert back in 1985 told us that Aaron Rodgers is the QB 20 on the season. Is that correct?
It is correct. Unique design, but unfortunately, it is anticipated to depreciate in value. Plays Washington this week, who's top 3 in quarterback pressure rate, expected run-heavy game script, and another average performance. And then, of course, as you can see here, plays Buffalo in week 8.
So I've got a classic Raheem Mostert here. Believe it or not, I found it in my dad's attic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And if you take a look, 30 years old for a running back. I mean, that's ancient, but it looks a lot younger, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Can you explain the photo up there?
Yeah, so back in '68, my dad was a photographer and he drafted Mostert as a late round flyer. This photo's from his fantasy team from back then. So I think that's Ace Gutowski and then that's Dutch Clark right there, I believe.
As you would expect from this piece, it can get quite loud. We're talking a ton of volume. He's averaged 17 touches per game over his last 3. I would not sell, but if it went up for auction today, I would anticipate 12 to 17 fantasy points this week.
My roster's been broke for a long time. This is gonna really help. It's gonna help the whole family, really.
After this week, Mostert faces 4 straight teams that are in the bottom 8 against fantasy running backs. Congratulations.
My wife's great aunt gave us this Latavius Murray waiver wire painting. It's beautiful. She said that it was a Fantasy Bob Ross original and wasn't really sure, so bring it to the expert, you know?
Right. It is a beautiful painting, it really is. And of course, Latavius Murray did play for the Baltimore Ravens last year. But unfortunately, no, it's not a Fantasy Bob Ross original. Original prints from Fantasy Bob Ross, of course, are priceless. If you turn the painting around, you'll see Murray played 49% of the snaps with 15 carries. Melvin Gordon only played 14.5% with 3 carries. And I would expect Mike Boone to work into the mix, so it's a 3-man backfield there in Denver. So certainly a nice facsimile of an RB2, but I think Latavius Murray and Melvin Gordon, unfortunately, worthless in fantasy.
So I bought this old fantasy wide receiver at a garage sale. It looked fancy at the time. Now I'm not sure if it has any more value.
Yeah, what you've brought today is an Allen Robinson. At one time, Robinson as a fantasy asset was a real luxury item, passed on from generation to generation. But it does appear as if Father Time really has taken a chunk out of this piece, doesn't it?
Well, we went to a conservator to get it refurbished. Does that add any value?
Yeah, I can see that. Carolina did a very nice job putting a bit of value back into your piece here. 17.3 PPR points last week. So the auction market for a type of piece like this is very volatile, so I would hold. In fact, after the buy, I may even inquire about purchasing more Robinson pieces. It's a very favorable schedule starting in week 10. But if you were to sell today, in auction, Allen Robinson not in mint condition would fetch you most likely a low-end flex play in 12-team or deeper leagues.